Hi, I'm George Norrie, and welcome to our Coast to Coast AM YouTube channel. Have fun, tell your friends, and share us with everyone. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Coast to Coast AM's mobile app. And always remember to log on to our website at coasttocoastam.com for daily articles, the best paranormal information, and all you need to know about your favorite guests. And now you can become a Coast Insider directly through the Coast mobile app. We welcome our international listeners and even offer a free 2-week trial. So don't delay. Become an insider today.
Hey, welcome back. Say hello on Twitter at Richard Serrett, S-Y, because I love you, R-E-T-T. Mary Joyce is the founder at skyships.overcashiers.com, skyships.overcashiers.com. Journalist, UFO researcher, the new book, Spy in the Sky, Secrets and Cover-Ups on Earth and Beyond, containing, well, it's just chock full of images captured using just a computer screenshot, and also the very popular device, Google Earth, which not only is pointed at the Earth, but also at Mars and the Moon. And it's just filled, again, with these images of artifacts that appear to have intelligent design behind them, and are in places you wouldn't expect them. Huge entrances into the interior of Mars, into the interior of Antarctic. We'll talk a little bit later about some of these remarkable artifacts found on the ocean floors. All right, let's go back to, again, these images are at coasttocoastam.com, highlight carousel, just click on Mary Joyce images. And if you go down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, image number 5. So we're back to the Antarctic. And this one, the line under it says, the first of 5 ancient cities found emerging from Antarctica's melting ice. Just describe what we're seeing here. It's a little blurry, but it's, there's a lot of, straight lines and right angles, and this does not look to be natural, this formation. What are we seeing here, Mary?
We believe that this is an ancient city that's appearing because the ice is melting so quickly, and they look like the walls of city structures. And as you know, in ruins, the rooftops disappear and the walls are the last thing standing. And they're different sizes of boxes or squares or rectangles, and just like you would expect in a city where everything is not uniform. I need to give credit to a woman. Her name is also Mary. It's Mary Hall. And she, at a very young age, had a stroke and for a while was bedridden. And she started using Google Earth and started exploring Antarctica. And it took her 4 months to find the picture that I've sent to you. But once I learned about that, I started doing my own exploring. And between the two of us, we have found the ruins of 5 ancient cities that are appearing in the ice. And that first one that she saw, it's amazing that she found it because she zoomed in on something that looks like just a black crack in the ice of Antarctica. And that's where she found this. And once I learned her trick, then I began to find out ways to find some for myself. This is astounding if our conclusion is correct, because Antarctica is supposedly been covered with ice for 34 million years, according to most scientists. That would make these ruins the oldest in the world. And if you want to make a comparison, everybody thinks about the Great Pyramid being really old. It's less than 5,000 years old. Compare that to 34 million. There is just no comparison at all. And while all this ice is melting more rapidly, they've also found fossils of an ancient tropical forest. Dinosaur bones have been found. Antarctica was once quite a different continent.
Right, and you mentioned that Mary Hall discovered this by peering into a crack in the ice in Antarctica, and then you've put a yellow push pin in a photo marking the city's location. Again, and you've got the coordinates for the site: 76 degrees, 8 minutes, 10 seconds south, 162 degrees, 28 minutes, 39 seconds east. Have you gone back to check that image to see if it's still visible or whether it's been conveniently blurred out?
All of the ones from Antarctica are there. The only one that changed was that smaller entrance into Antarctica. In the book itself, I show before and after pictures because from my own experience, I saw a deliberate blurring of some of these cities that we found. So that in itself indicates that it's not just some kind of natural phenomena. If somebody's going to the trouble to distort them and, make it look like they don't exist.
Sticking with Antarctic, and now this one is in the book, but it's not on the carousel. I don't believe. Let me just. No,
I
it is
only
not.
sent you one from there. So, what
Right.
other one do you want to talk about?
Well, this one is on page 30,
Page 30.
Mary, and this is the disc-shaped object, also found in Antarctica, and it's located at 66 degrees, 16 minutes, 24 seconds south, 100 degrees. I mean, if people are listening and they jot this down and they want to try and look on Google Earth, again, 66 degrees, 16 minutes, 24 seconds south, 100 degrees, 59 minutes, 4 seconds east. And there you will see a disc-shaped object. There it is, as plain as day. Tell me more about this. How did you find this one?
I think somebody gave me a clue on that one, but I went and found it for myself. I hear about some of these things, but I have to find them myself before I decide to use them. And this one is, by UFO standards, is kind of small. It's about 60 feet in diameter.
60 feet in diameter.
Right, and it has a raised rim all the way around the edges. And in the picture, you see just slightly more than half of it because some of it's still buried beneath. I don't know what it's buried beneath, but you can only see a portion of it.
Right, or it's tucked under some sort of a rock formation or an outcrop or something. Hard to say.
I can't tell from this photo, but obviously it's under something.
My word. And that's still there? People can go and find it?
That's still there.
My word. When you find something like this, or when you see it for the first time, do you knock over your coffee? What happens?
No, I don't. I've gotten used to that. But no, I don't do anything that drastic for fear I'll destroy my computer. But I get excited about some of these. I mean, this idea of ancient cities from 34 million years ago is just incredible. Why does somebody want to hide that from the public? I do not know. But they do.
Well, I think we can speculate as to why. I mean, if you're talking about ruins of an ancient city popping up out of the ice, and it has been how long? How old would they be? Did you say 34 million?
Scientists tend to believe that it's been covered in ice for at least 34 million years. The smallest number I've ever heard from any scientist was it's been covered for 23 million years. So even the smaller number is, staggering.
Right. Well, there's your reason. I mean, that does not fit the official narrative of, the history of our world and our place in it and who we are and what we are and where we came from.
And why they do that, I don't know. I mean, they hide the fact that the Smithsonian's been hiding skeletons of giants since the late 1800s. So why? Why do they want to hide all that?
Precisely.
And also another thing I want to bring to the attention about these cities, some of them are organic in the way that they would meander like cities do today. They'll develop along a river or along a ridge, and some of the pictures you can see that organic development of these box-shaped buildings, just like we would see today.
Let me see where else let's go back to the highlight carousel at coasttocoastam.com. And let me see. Let's go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right below the ancient city image found on Antarctica. Now we're going to the floor of the ocean. And this is located in the Gulf of California. It's people can check it out there again. The Gulf of California on the ocean floor. Where is this? Just off of the Baja Peninsula, or where is this located?
East of the Baja Peninsula and west of Mexico, and it's, as you said, in the Gulf of California.
All right. So on the floor of the ocean, off of the Baja Peninsula, you see these geometric designs, imprints on the ocean floor, and then underneath that image, you have a photograph of the Spokane Airport runways. And it does, by comparison, if you look at the Spokane Airport runway, it looks exactly like this impression on the ocean floor. What would an airport or a runway be doing off the east coast of the Baja Peninsula?
As I know you know, I explored from Alaska down to Baja with Google Earth, just searching the coastal areas along the Pacific, and found quite a few different structures. I found this one personally the most fascinating, which is the reason I sent you those pictures. And even though there's a great similarity between, I'll call it two airports, the size difference is incredible. The longest runway on the planet right now is just slightly more than 3 miles long. That structure that was found beneath the ocean is 89 miles long. Proportions and lines look so similar, but 89 miles long is incredible. So either those are ancient alien runways, or there may have been a very different size species of people that lived, let's say, in Lemuria. That may not be mythology, and people will know it as Mu or Pan or Lemuria. The mythology says there was an ancient continent that sank into the Pacific Ocean. When we find so many ruins along the coast of the Pacific, you begin to wonder if those stories are true.
Right. In other words, if this is what lies on the ocean floor off the coast of the Baja Peninsula that looks remarkably like an airport runway, this was at one point above the water level. But then, if we're talking about ETs, they wouldn't need a runway for their craft. I mean, these are gravity-defying vehicles, we believe, so they wouldn't need a runway. But if there was some other type of civilization that had the power of flight, and these were, huge craft, they would need obviously a much longer airport. 89 miles in length.
Huge. That's just
89
huge.
Miles.
And there's a number of structures. There's a structure off of Coronado Island, and that island itself, I think, is about 2.5 miles from north to south or in length. This other structure is twice that length. It's just about parallel to the island of Coronado, but it's huge, and it's absolutely huge. So whatever was going on in ancient times, it appears that whoever was living there had to be monstrous compared to us. I could be wrong, but this certainly fuels that thought.
Right. I'm looking at the images again, not on the carousel, but in the book, The Spy in the Sky, page 44. And is this the one that I think earlier I described it when we were talking off air or on another program. It looked to me like a giant cockroach or some kind of an insect, but I mean, it looks like it's got, a head and a tail, but the tail portion, what I'm describing as a tail portion, is it looks like it has portals around the outer edges. Is that the one off Coronado?
Yes, it is. And what I would call the northern part of that is a very rounded shape in the front. It's very tubular.
Yes.
And the bottom part of that may simply have been something that's been destroyed. I don't know. But
I see, yeah.
One view of it from the side looks like evenly spaced spaces going around it, almost like there's a portico that goes around this thing. And
Exactly.
Even from above, because the outer walls are slanted outward, the portico openings look like dots, evenly spaced when you look straight down on it.
UFO researcher, journalist Mary Joyce, and the website skyshipsovercashiers.com. The new book, Spy in the Sky, Secrets and Cover-Ups on Earth and Beyond. Are you ready to take some calls, Mary?
Go ahead. Let's see what we can do with them.
All right, let's find out. We go west of the Rockies. Chris in Los Angeles. Chris, welcome to Coast.
Hello.
Hi there. Go.
I really appreciate this show. I went fishing in Oxnard not too long ago, and I started looking at the area on the map of the Channel Islands.
An anomaly off the coast of Oxnard, bigger than the Channel Islands.
Yeah, just south of the Channel Islands. And if you just, I don't have the exact coordinates. I'm not looking at it right at the moment, but it's larger than Catalina. It's larger than the Channel Islands. It's a circular shape, just a little south of the Channel Islands. I think it's on the coast of Oxnard.
Now, you don't have it in front. Obviously, you're driving. You don't have it in front of you now. But did you take a screenshot?
No, but I can. I can pull over and take a screenshot.
No, I'm not asking you to do it now. I'm just saying, did you preserve it for posterity? In other words, did you make a note of the coordinates? Did you take a screenshot when you first saw it?
I didn't. I did.
But you have the coordinates, though?
It's been there for a while.
Ah, okay. Does that sound familiar, Mary? Have you ever run anything or into anything off the coast of Oxnard, California?
I found a number of things along the coast there. If he can send the coordinates or something to either you or me, I'll check it out. I don't know if it's one I found already or not. If not, I will snoop around there and see if I can find something. All
right, Chris, I would suggest that you reach out to Mary through the website, and that's skyshipsovercashiers.com, skyshipsovercashiers.com.
Over cashiers. I will do that. And it's so large, it doesn't look man-made. It's
perfectly circular. Perfectly circular.
Circular. Right, yeah. Circular, and if I'm to assume that some of the sides of it were edges, like cliffs or something, then it would go down very deep as well. But I'll do that. Okay, I'll find those coordinates and I will send it to you. But thank you guys
Fantastic.
very much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. See, we're recruiting an entire army of space detectives for you, Mary.
That's wonderful.
All right. East of the Rockies, Olivia is in Austin, Texas. Olivia, good evening, good morning. Welcome to Coast.
Good morning, good evening. Good morning. Thank you. I want to say, Richard, I really enjoy your hosting.
Thank you very much.
Don't you imagine other people are finding these things on Google too, even before you're suggesting they do it? There must be a lot of people that see these things, huh?
Well, after Coast to Coast tonight, I'm sure there'll be a lot more.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more. That's right. Okay, well, thank you again, and thank you for your bravery and all. And that's all.
Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate the call and your kind remarks. She said, "Thank you for your bravery, Mary. Do you ever feel like, or have you ever received any, I don't know, pushback, strange calls in the middle of the night? Mary, don't do that."
No, but I've had one story which I know I've told you. It's probably too long for this late in the show, but I did have a whole lot of things disappear from my computer, and they were only the things related to UFOs. Had a an expert in computers come in, and he couldn't even find anything or any trace of it even in the bowels of the computer. So that would probably be the most troubling thing that's happened. And that was some time ago.
All right, let's see who we're going to go to next. Let's say hi to, is it Yana or Jana in Auburn, Washington?
Thank you.
Hi, is that Yana or Jana?
Jana.
Jana. All right, Jana, welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. I have still evening. But anyway, I was hoping that Mary was making sure Elon Musk was getting this book. Since he's planning trips up there, he can look for your bookmarkers for the sites you found on Mars.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea, yeah.
And then looking at the underground at Baja, it looks at the bottom right corner like the Statue of Liberty is standing there.
I'll have to go back and take a look at that. I don't recall that.
And then you said it's 89 miles of runway type of thing?
That's correct.
Long ago, they said we were seeded. And long ago, maybe they needed that runway to get to a portal or a start date and get through it.
None of us knows, but it certainly is big, and it was certainly used for some kind of flying vehicle, I would think.
All right. Yeah, indeed. Bonnie, thank you Jana, thank you for that in Auburn, Washington. Let's just keep rolling here. People are really excited about this, not surprisingly. Richard is up in Anchorage, Alaska. Richard, welcome to Coast. Oh, we lost Richard. That's too bad. All right. How about another Rich in Redwood City, California?
Yes.
Good morning, Rich.
Good morning. I was wondering, did your guest indicate that there still is a Schwabenland base in Antarctica, or that there isn't? I was just wondering what her take on that is. And my other inquiry has to
don't do one person at a time, or I'll forget it.
Okay.
I have done. Let's see. Werner von Braun. I've gotten information from an astronaut who became a friend of his, and I got to know the astronaut, and he said that that still exists down in Antarctica, and it was Hitler's Shangri-La. Does that answer?
All right.
Does that answer?
Yeah, and then my other inquiry had to do with Gary McKinnon in England, who hacked into classified UFO materials. Do you remember that?
I'm familiar with it a little bit with him. Yes.
Is that they were trying to extradite him to put him on trial here in the U.S. And so what became of that? I know George wanted to get him interviewed, but that was about a year or two ago. I don't know how the project never came off.
Yeah, if memory serves, I think he beat the extradition. I'm not 100% sure of that. But again, yes, he had hacked into Pentagon or some agency's computers and found evidence for like a deep space platform and pilots for these craft that were going to these deep space platforms and so forth.
Now, there's a brave person.
I'd say. All right, Rich in Redwood, thank you for that. I think I can squeeze one more in quickly. If you move quick, Jared in Myrtle Beach, we can get your question in. Good morning. Welcome to Coast.
Yeah, great show. My first time calling in. I've been listening for a couple of years now. But so I live in Myrtle Beach, and I was going to ask one question, but another thing popped in my mind. Right behind me where I live is the Carolina Bays. Are you guys familiar with those?
I am.
Yes.
Yeah, and my brother is the one that got me into it because he looks around on Google Maps for meteor sites. He lives up in New Hampshire, and he found a couple up there. But, yeah, the Carolina Bays, they're directly by my house, and they're really interesting. If anybody goes on Google Maps and just takes a look at Myrtle Beach, there's all these almost oval-shaped indents in the earth all moving in clearly one direction. And they're really not anywhere else on the East Coast but This is making me think of, people to talk about looking at the map. Take a look at Myrtle Beach, and it's a really interesting find. Very easy to find.
That's a good idea.
All right, Jared. Thank you for that. Well, there you have an assignment for tomorrow over breakfast coffee. Mary, check out the Myrtle Beach and the Carolina Islands, or the Carolina Bays, rather. Wow. I don't know where those 2 hours went, but that was absolutely riveting. Thank you so much, Mary.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I want your listeners to know that it was a nudge from you that got me putting all this together into a book.
Well, that was a tap in. I mean, you went to all this work, and I know you posted them on your website, some of these originally. So it was just, hey, why don't you put them in a book? That's all I did. I just reminded you of something you already.
Enough to get me going on it.
Well, fantastic. Well, we're all the richer for it. I mean that in terms of a curiosity. All right, Mary Joyce, journalist, UFO researcher, Skyships over cashiers.com, and keep checking with Amazon. They'll get it restocked. Don't give up. Be persistent. All right, Mary, thank you again.
Thank you. You have a good show for the rest of the evening.
The Coast mobile app is now available for download on iPhones and Android devices. You can become an insider directly through this app. This is a great option for our international listeners, and new users will also receive a free 2-week trial.